Hello. The topic of this video is materialism and trust. Materialism and trust. There's an old joke which goes something like this. Four people travel together in a carriage. One is a Jew, one is a Muslim, one is a Christian, and one is an atheist. Now, when the three find out that the fourth man is an atheist, they, after a brief consultation, stop the carriage and ask the atheist to get off. Why? They say, well, we know what to expect of each other. I know what to expect of him as a Jew. He knows what to expect of me, Christian, and we know what to expect of the Muslim, and the Muslim knows what to expect of the two of us, and so on. But because we know what each of us believes in, we know what each of us believes in. So we pretty much know what to expect of each other. But you believe in nothing. And therefore, we have no idea of what to expect of you. Right. Now, I guess most of you well know the American movies and TV series, the X-Files, Mulder and Scully, and there's a motto attached to, I guess, part of the series. Anyway, there's a motto which appears there repeatedly, which is trust no one. Trust no one. Now, I think for X-Files, it's a befitting motto. It's a science fiction, and so in that context, I think it's a good motto. But I don't think it's a good advice for life to trust no one, never trust anyone. Excuse me. Why? Well, when you look at it soberly and honestly, you have to trust a vast number of people every day just to get through the day without a mental breakdown or something of the sort. When you cross the street, you have to trust the drivers that they will respect the traffic lights and won't simply run you over. When you use your water at home, you have to trust the water company that the water is not toxic or poisoned. When you put your child in school in the morning, You must have some elementary trust that they will take care of the child, and you will find it there. You will find your little sweet child there in the afternoon, live and well. And you could name an endless number of such examples. Now, some people might say, the driver would never run you over or run your child over because there is the law and he would be punished severely for doing that. So you don't need any trust. We have the laws. We have the system. Well, you see, accidents do happen, don't they? In spite of all the laws. And besides, when you really think about it, what is it that when you let your child cross the street, when you see a child crossing the street, crossing the lights and so on, what is it that gives you the necessarily a level of a peace of mind or reliance that the child will survive crossing that street? Is it the faith in the law, in the sense that if a driver runs a child over, he will then be punished? Is it really? I mean, what good does it do for you? Your child is dead. So, well, he probably will go to jail, maybe for, many years or whatever. But just give your child back. No, it's not. I mean, really think about it. Have another thought. It's not that, that there are those laws out there and so forth. It is your tacit, your silent trust in the drivers, that they are, they would just not do it. They would not. Most of them, there is this factor of silent trust that most of them are, decent enough that they would not, out of, just recklessness of fun or aggression or whatever, would just not run over a child just like that. You don't believe, actually, that most of them simply do not care. You don't. If you did, you would just not. You'd never allow your child to cross the street. Everybody has to cross the street now and again, but you would always be there with each other, or it would be a very traumatic experience every time it happens, or when you think about it happening, right? Okay. Do as you say, and say as you do. It used to be a saying, right? Do as you say, and say as you do. So, you have an element of trust right there, don't you? If you say something, do it. Right? In other words, be trustworthy. Be trustworthy. Right? So, trust, keeping one's word, right? So on. Trust used to be an important ideal. An important ideal to espouse. And it was, and is, and will always be closely related to the respect one has for oneself and the respect he has for others and he wishes to have from others. These things are intimately related. Because essentially if you cannot be trusted, you cannot be respected. That's fairly obvious, isn't it? And if you cannot trust, you cannot respect. And if you are not respected and you do not respect, it's quite tough to have self-respect, is it not? Now, no group of people or organization, if it is to achieve anything real, let alone a society or civilization, can be effective and achieve anything, or when we talk about civilization, can hardly even exist in the first place without a high level of trust, without a high level of trust among its members, most of its members anyway. Now, one can argue and say, look, yeah, maybe trust, all right, but you have to be cautious and careful in certain respect, and you know, you don't need all that much trust, and I think you're you know, exaggerating the role of trust. Look, we have the laws, controls, and police, and so forth. So, we have the system, and we'll take care of it. No, we'll take care of things. So, There's no need to preach trust. Well, I mean, think about it. The laws, controls, the police, they are, in and of themselves, manifestations of a lack of trust. Don't you see? Now, it's not to say that the laws and controls and the police do not have a place. not saying any such thing. But if you look at the amazing cancerous growth of laws and controls, cameras and all monitoring and the police, so forth, it suggests something. It is suggestive of something, is it not? Is it not? What is it suggestive of? What does it suggest? Well, it suggests a great decline in the general level of trust in society. And it's an open-ended solution too, because who will control the controllers? Okay. Now, another materialist argument may be that trust is a survival strategy. You need to have the trust of at least certain other people, and you have to be somewhat trustworthy for your own survival, for your own benefit, so that you can have and keep a job and simply be accepted by the people around you. Now, as is typical of these arguments, they are half true. They are only half true at best. And as I said in some of my previous videos, as I pointed out, a half-truth is more dangerous, much more dangerous than a flat lie. Firstly, if one is clever, he can find many ways to avoid the blame or responsibility for not being trustworthy. He can diffuse responsibility and put it on others and circumstances and manipulate, what have you. And secondly, which again is an important reality, which is often, sometimes perhaps on purpose, overlooked in many of these survival strategy, materialist arguments, is that it is one thing to talk about people of comparable power and position in life, and it is quite another talking about the relationship between one who is much more powerful than the other or others. Because if you are much more powerful than the other or others, why would you care so much about their trust? Do you need their trust? If you betray their trust, they can't get back at you. They just can't get back at you. So why would you care? Why would you care if you espouse no ideal of, trust, trustworthiness, and so forth? And as an addendum, the funny part of it is that if you espouse no ideal of trust or trustworthiness, then if you fail or you betray the trust of another, which has always happened, no doubt. But when you do espouse an ideal of trust and you fail or you betray it, then naturally you feel bad about it. And your feeling is reinforced by those around you because they share the same ideal. They share the same ideal. And so you tend to feel you've done something wrong, and at least you would, in many cases, most cases, one would tend to, try to repair it, make amends, as they used to say, perhaps. Apologize. He would sincerely regret it. He would sincerely feel bad about it. Leaving aside a handful of psychopaths and so forth. And but if you espouse no ideal of trust, well, would you even should you feel bad about saying something and not doing it, promising something and not keeping a promise, lying when it's convenient, saying one thing, do another? Should you even feel bad about it? I'm not sure. Well, everybody does what is convenient for them, and in a given situation, a given moment, and the fact that others may not like it, it's not, well, it's, it's to a detriment. Well, I'm sorry. Bad luck happens. And well, one may pretend to feel bad about it. Guilty. I apologize. judge. I don't know. One may see it convenient or under a threat of force to, to pretend to feel bad about it or to feel that what he has done wrong and so forth. Or he can just do it as, for the sake of his PR image, this sort of thing. That's not really of an interest to us, and many people won't. Many people won't actually. Many people just boldly and unashamedly. Well, so what? I had reasons, to do that or not to do that, and so what? I promised not to let my neighbor's child, play near the window when I was babysitting her, but I had a phone call, and it was my cousin, and she told me important news about this new chocolate shop, and I was so excited about it. I loved chocolate all my life, and so for just a short fleeting moment, I forgot about the child. I'm sorry, but I was obsessed with chocolate all my life, and I'm just a human. We're not perfect. I'm really sorry that the child fell out the window and is dead now. Excuse me. But do not dare speak of trust here. And I to live with trust. I'm a good, trustworthy person. Everybody will tell you around here. I have it on my Facebook image that I'm a reliable, responsible, trustworthy person with many likes. Hello. Okay. I myself get carried away here a little bit, so let's be a little more serious again, okay? Now, you cannot have a higher level of trust in others unless you also have a higher level of respect for them. Well, in materialism, in a materialist point of view, worldview, who are those others? The others. What are they like? Who are they? Well, they are selfish, self-interested only, ruthless animals that do not really care about anybody or anything except their own pleasure and benefit. and they, you see, they all have private morality and situational ethics and so forth. So how can you trust them? How could you? Not knowing this is what they are like. So that they're not trustworthy. They're really not trustworthy. So why should you bother trying to be trustworthy? What for? When you live among wolves. Sure, you may play the game of pretending, being trustworthy, but no. Why should you? It might actually be dangerous for you. To extend your trust to such creatures. They will betray it the first opportunity, when it's convenient for them. And if you betrayed their trust, so what? They would do the same, without a moment's pause, if they found it profitable and felt that they could sufficiently, safely get away with it, right? Now, this is not to say that you should, you should blindly trust everybody all the time. There are such things as discerning reason and experience, and so forth. What I'm talking about here is a general view of men, in materialism, which actually gives one a good, solid reason to trust no one, even if it's a paradox, because of what I pointed out at the outset. But it tends to become a frame of mind, and it tends to become a reality of sorts. And so you simply adopt. Often one does so unwittingly, or and so on. One adopts a policy of this sort: trust no one, right? And perhaps you had a bad experience, with certain people, trusting them and so forth. But that's no one can avoid that in life, and never could, and never will be able to. That's part of life. Everybody has had bad experience in this respect. And bad experience can certainly make trusting again more difficult and so forth, but we are talking another factor here, which is added to this one, which has always been around. And the factor is the general view of man, what man is, and what is he driven by in materialism, and what it does to the general level of trust among people. As I've indicated earlier in this video, Trust is closely related with respect and self-respect. You cannot respect others unless you respect yourself. And others will respect you if you respect yourself in a genuine sense. Some of they may not show it, but they will deep inside respect you when they sense, when they see that you really, truly respect yourself. But others, the others, cannot respect you if they cannot trust you. And you can hardly respect yourself if you are not trustworthy. Because I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? To respect yourself, you got to be worthy of something, at least in your own eyes. Otherwise, what would be there to respect? Materialism delivers a heavy blow to self-respect. Why? You are supposed to, and you desire naturally, everybody, except perhaps a complete psychopath, everybody has a natural need and a desire for self-respect. Now, in materialism, you are supposed to, and you need and desire to respect exactly what? The selfish animal that you are, driven only by its base impulses, no better than all the other animals, that only lives once, whose life has no higher purpose. He has no higher purpose. And existence, his own existence and life, and the existence and the lives of others have no higher meaning. I would say it's kind of difficult to really respect such a creature that you see in yourself, in materialism. And so, when one's self-respect is undermined, the importance of it, so is the importance of trust and being trustworthy. And materialism greatly undermines self-respect. in its true sense. A higher level of self-respect. The importance of it, beyond many other things, perhaps everything else in life. And with self-respect goes trust. The importance of trust as an ideal. A civilizing ideal. And without a high level of trust, civilization is impossible. Thanks for watching.